Hello, listeners. My name is Maddie Billy, and this is the Possibility Project YouTube channel. Today, I'll be interviewing Koch, who is an artist that specializes in oils, acrylics, and mixed media. Ada, I'm so excited to get to interview today. Let's get started. So, when did you realize that you wanted to do art as more than like just a hobby?
So my background's kind of weird. I loved art growing up
Mhm.
and uh, took classes and got scholarships in high school. But I had parents who were scientists and
Oh,
they did not consider art a career. So they guided me into science. So I became a chemistry major
oh,
and took a lot of computer classes and ended up selling computers for Hewlett Packard for a while. So it never occurred to me that it could actually be a career until a little bit later in life.
mhm.
But I always continued to take art classes. And sure enough, once I had a little time on my own, I was able to look into being an artist. And that's where it started. So it was a little delayed.
Mhm. And how did you actually take it from being just a hobby to being your career?
Oh, that's a really good question because it's making that jump. Um, I took a lot of classes. I was painting a lot. I started doing shows. And once people started wanting to buy my work
Mhm.
or take classes from me, then that was a signal, hey, I think I can make money at this.
Wow. What skills help you do art like as a living?
Very good question. So I need to be self motivated because I don't have a boss to say, you need to do such and such by 5 o'clock tonight.
Hmm.
Um, so I need to be very self motivated, setting goals and then trying to achieve them as much as I can on time. Um, I'm also, because it's a small business, I'm all the roles. I go buy the supplies, I do the accounting, I make the inventory. So I'm kind of the factory plus the staff all at once. So I actually like that. I like a little variety in my life. There are definitely things about my work I don't like. Not a big paperwork person. Keeping
Oh,
keeping track of receipts and all that. That's not my strength. But um, I love getting out there and meeting people, having shows, teaching is one of my favorite things. So the variety is good.
yeah. What do you think is the hardest part of making it as an artist?
Oh gosh, I have to think about that for a minute. The hardest part is staying motivated all the time. A job that is based on creativity, I think you can have burnout. You can have times where you just don't feel like going in and making art. And there has to be a creative energy going there. Um, so it's keeping that momentum going. And I've read a lot of books and taken some classes with people who talk about what to do about creative burnout.
Mm,
And it's a problem that a lot of people, writers, artists, videographers, musicians have. And so it's how do you be excited every day? Because I show up to the studio every day. That's one of the things. And I will say some days I don't create as much as I do other days. You know, you just have days where you're a ball of excitement and energy. And some days I just kind of sit and look at the canvas and think about what I should be doing. So it's keeping that energy up. And I found a lot of different ways to do that. And some of that is really interacting with other artists, going on studio visits and seeing other artists, going to museums, reading art books, kind of gets you excited to go do the next project.
what are some of your favorite parts?
Oh, the favorite parts are, getting ready for a big show, very exciting. Pulling all that work together and getting it ready. It's also a little bit scary, but it gets the adrenaline going. And then having people come see your work and being able to explain what you were thinking. I also really love classes.
Mhm.
Um, Getting together with students that first time and hearing what it is that they want to achieve. A lot of people are scared of art, scared to expose themselves in that way and make something that reflects them in some way and then have people critique it.
Yeah.
So I love working with them and helping them get over that angst and seeing them achieve their goals and be happy. And I learn from my students so much.
Mhm.
That always happens. They are an inspiration to me.
When did you start teaching classes?
I started teaching in the 90s. Well, yeah, late 90s. And then I started at the Nelson Atkins Museum in 2000. So I've been there, geez, over 20 years.
Mhm.
Taught in middle school, about 5 years ago. And then I've taught at different art schools around the Kansas City area again for about 20 years.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one last question. What advice would you give to those who want to go into art as their career?
So there's the setting of goals for an artist is very important. And it's good to understand up front what you want and what you need from a job. If you need a certain salary,
Mhm.
then there are plenty of creative jobs that can do good salaries, but you might need to shop around and find one that fits your own um, talents. I think one of the big things about an artist is find out what your goals are. Do
Yeah.
you want to just sell lots of art? Do you want to be in a museum? Do you want to study art history and be able to work in a museum, maybe be a curator and work with art and artists, which is very exciting.
Mhm.
So it's very important up front to not just say art and think someone's got a pencil or a paintbrush and that's all they can do. There's so many different avenues, and it really, really depends on people's goals and needs, monetary needs too. Um, and then I think there's an awful lot of needing to be flexible. Um, I am an artist. I make money. I can support myself with my art, but I have to do a lot of different things. I do
Mhm.
I do book cover illustrations. I teach. I give talks. Um, and so I have to have that flexibility in order to pursue what I want to do and still be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yes. Well, Ada, thank you so much for this interview. And for those viewing this, thank you so much for watching.
Thanks a lot, Maddie.